Welcome to Sloss and Humphries on the road. Before we get into our public episode where I am joined by Rosco McClelland, Twitch streamer, stand-up comedian and downright funny cunt, joins me in my kitchen for a laugh. Before we can get on to that, I just need to let you know that I'm coming on tour from 10th of October all over the UK, all the major cities and a couple of the smaller ones. If I'm coming to a town near you, grab your tickets to the tour show. It's gallivanting. It's the one I did at the Fringe Festival. I'm taking it on the road and I'm going to be supported by Elliot Steele and Connor Burns, depending on which gig you come to. And then I'm going to Europe. If you are in Europe right now, there's a good chance I'm coming to your capital city, whichever country you're in. There's like one or two I'm not doing, like France and Spain and Italy, so I'm sorry about that. But practically every other country. There's an easier to list the ones I'm not doing. Go on my website, www.kaihumphries.com, and you'll be able to find everywhere that's on sale right now is on there. Also, if you're here for the public episode on Spotify or YouTube, you do know that you can subscribe to Patreon if you want to support the podcast. Just £3 a month and you get an extra episode. You get this episode a little bit earlier. There's a host of perks as well, which like I'm getting behind on, but I'm catching up on them now. So now's a good time to join because I'm being pretty proactive with that stuff at the minute before my tour kicks off, and then I'll forget about everybody again. What else have I got to tell you? Oh yeah, if you're just happy with one episode and you've subscriptions up to your eyeballs and you don't want to put £3 a month onto another thing, you can support the podcast by just giving us a follow on Instagram, sharing any social media posts we put up, like all the clips and stuff we put out. That's free and it supports the podcast and it keeps the wheels turning and keeps we growing. Enjoy the podcast with Rosco, and Peggy here does join us on the pod. You can look forward to that.
Sloss and Humphries on the road.
Muggins and cream and muggins, straight thuggin', living the dream.
That's our intro.
Fucking muggles.
Tickling the clit inside your head that makes you laugh. They said it can't be done.
Talk to us about roadcasters.
Oh my god.
Rosco.
So the button on the back of my one that's currently fucked and broke is like a kind of, instead of it being like a little plastic in-out button, right, on-off, it's like it was like a bit of rubber that you would press in, and I would have a bit of rubber attached to it that would squish some wee button, and then obviously...
So you had to set off a domino to get your machine turned on?
Yeah, basically. And then obviously after a while it was like, oh, I'm not really doing anything, and then it just broke, and then I fucked a screwdriver in it and ultra broke it.
Yeah. Just instead of fucking being subtle and trying to figure out which finicky bit was broken, you just decided
I just ultra fucked it.
You just killed it. You put it out of its misery.
Yeah.
You're like, you gotta be nearly dead, be fully dead.
So now I need to send it back to these stupid cunts.
The only thing worse than something like not working or having no Wi-Fi is like it nearly working or having a little bit of Wi-Fi where you just, the hope is what kills you. So mate, fucking thrust a screwdriver in it. Is that I've got a button issue with my washing machine where, you know, like you say, button in, button out, clink, switch, rocker switch. Man, what a fucking beautiful system. That is one of them like sensor ones where your thumb's got to be over it.
Oh no.
It must be like fire and light in it, and then when I like break the light thing, infrared, I don't know what the fuck, why they've made us pay extra for a button that doesn't recognise me as a being. Natalie comes in and just does it. I must just be mostly energy. Do you know what?
My phone started... Are we rolling?
Oh, yeah.
I'm good, man, because I'm ready to talk about buttons and stuff.
Yeah, well, fucking button podcast. We're here for buttons with Rosco McClelland.
My phone has stopped recognising my face so much in the last, couple of weeks, and I'm like...
You haven't changed that much.
Well, apparently in the last 2 weeks, I think it was during the Fringe, it was going like, nah... not recognised. I'm like,
is it an iPhone 1 and it only recognises you with the skeleton makeup that you used to wear on stage?
It only recognises it. Stupidly, I took my picture on my iPhone scan wearing skeleton makeup, and now it only recognises the bones of a man.
So when you finally get into heroin, it's going to recognise you again.
Do you know what? I don't know about you, right? On heroin, but see, when I hit about 80, I'm thinking it's fucking time to go with that.
I've been talking about this in my show because I talk about like heroin and kids are the two things in life that scare us because of the repercussions, because of the side effects, the fucking influence, the cost and sacrifice it has on your life, right? So I'm like, I'll take heroin as a cancer drug. Like if I was terminally ill, I'd give it a shot. Yeah, because you're gonna get that feeling, because it's not shit.
Yeah,
like,
obviously.
We're not avoid. Like, let's just make this clear. We're not avoiding heroin as a society. There isn't a stigma attached to heroin because it's shit. There's a stigma attached to heroin because it's really, really fucking good.
Yeah, obviously it rocks. Yeah.
I'm never going to do it unless, like you say, you find out you're going to die in 6 weeks.
Yeah, like I'm not lubing my hand up every time before I jack off, you know what I mean? Obviously it's way better than regular, but, the mess, and that's how I feel about heroin as well.
There'll
be a lot of mess involved.
Yeah. I just never want that. I quite enjoy my life. I feel like 99% of the time I'm having a happy time, and the 1% is because of a button on a washing machine, not because of anything major. Right, I'm having a good time.
Yeah,
I don't want that to be dulled. I don't want that to go down to like a fucking 50% or like a diminished return of what it was because heroin's so fucking good. She's scratching at the door. I'm just gonna pop her on.
that's all right. The podcast doesn't stop here. This keeps going.
Ever since we've been doing kitchen podcasts, people are pretty aware that Peggy's going to join the party at some point.
That's so cool.
But she'll not settle when we're talking.
Yeah.
It's just something's going on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like what we're doing here, what we're up to.
Yeah, he's talking about heroin.
We're chatting about heroin. I feel like it's kind of put the dull on life, isn't it? Like, everything, the colours are probably going to be darker, like... You're going to just feel like your brain's a bit shrink-wrapped. Like your whole life after taking heroin, it's going to suck.
Yeah.
Because it's not as good as what that was. You've just seen a different lens on life.
Yeah.
That's why we don't do it. Not because of the bit when you're high.
Yeah. That seems like it's great. Everyone I've seen I've mostly seen them afterwards and they look fucked. But when they're in the moment, you see them lying down somewhere outside, they're like, oh my God. And I'm like, well, how could you be enjoying lying down here unless that was really good?
Yeah, you're willing to fucking spend it all. Because that's a lot of the time when you see, it's fucking harsh, but when you see homeless people on the street, right, they haven't just lost money, they've lost support structure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I reckon, like, I could have zero money for a long time before I was on the street because there's people around us that would prop us up for a bit.
Yeah.
You have to lose all of that. And that usually comes with, I need me next fix. I'm going to rob from the person that's putting us up.
Yeah.
And then the fucking word gans ruined that don't trust him in your house. He's going to fucking steal your jewellery and sell it for smack.
And I would, straight away, I would rob from everyone who trusted me.
Like, it must be fucking good if you're willing to just snap all of them support structures on the way of doing.
Yeah.
Have a blast.
I'm not even talking about heroin. I'm talking about...
Weed.
Not even that. I'm talking
Backy.
about the tomato and mascarpone tub sauces from the Marks and Spencer's garage. Because that stuff's fucking amazing.
I've welcomed you to me home to do a podcast and I'm just going to find stuff missing because you like the dip.
100%. Oh, it's so good. If you had the Marks...
Jonesing for dip.
No, the Asda one, it used to be good, but now they've made it a bit watery. Right, and
did you write a letter? Did you write a strongly worded letter?
Do you know what? I didn't even do that. Although what I do, there is the town where I'm from, Blantyre.
Blantyre, where's that?
Well, it's right next to East Kilbride, basically.
Okay,
it's not too far from where we are now. I'm not going to dox you in case those freaks.
We did it on the last episode. I mean, it was a bit, it's £3. You can find out which region I live in. Going past the paywall, and you can knock on doors. I reckon there's probably about like 50 streets. About 70 houses on each.
Yeah,
you'll find us eventually.
You get here. You get here.
You get here. I've narrowed it down for you. And then, you can probably tell which, by the sun shining through my window, which way my house is facing.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. But do they know what time this is happening at right now? If you give them the time, they could triangulate with the sundials.
Is there a way that they can tell the time now? I didn't have the telly on in the background, so there was no. Yeah, I think we're good for.
Yeah, they'll never know this is happening.
We're good for that forensic level.
They'll never know this is happening at 3 a.m.
This is the morning light of Scotland. This is how far north Scotland is for anybody elsewhere in the world.
What was it?
You were talking about Blantyre. You were living in Blantyre, just outside East Kilbride.
So there is a Blantyre Telegraph, which is the local paper Facebook group, and God, people have got issues with the Asda, the Blantyre Asda, and the way it's been run recently.
I feel like that's a newspaper with spelling mistakes.
Oh, 100%.
I think
Yeah,
there's typos all over.
100%.
There's, and there's are all intertwined.
Everywhere. But this Facebook group is it's amazing. It's just a local Facebook group with local issues. You know, people saying, who's driving the blue Polo because they're driving bad, and like,
And that'll make the paper.
just stuff like that. It's amazing. It's incredible. And
They're going after the Asda.
there's been a dip in quality in the Asda, and every now and then when I see one, I will post a simple message where I say we should storm the gates of Asda and take it back for the people. And I've been doing this for about a year and a half.
Yes.
And I think I'm starting to grow followers. I think I'm starting to gain people going, do you know what, he's right.
He's so earnest followers, not ironic followers that are just like, I'm enjoying this bit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna jump in on this bit. We're all part of this bit together. But like earnest guys that are so fucking wound up by the mascarpone dip being a little bit watery.
Yeah, they're coming with me.
They're coming with
eventually,
me. Which by the way, is not a local Asda issue. That is that's the product is the problem, not the vendor.
It's going to be like January 6th when, you know, all these people are storming the gates of Asda and they're telling me you need to put a Facebook post on the Blantyre Telegraph live chat Facebook group to you know, tell your followers to leave, and I will wait. I'll wait and see what happens.
What would you do if if that happened and then there was like a serious injury or something, like somebody slipped in aisle 6?
Do you know what?
While storming the thing, and like all the dog food toppled on top of them, and they're just prostrate on the floor, and it's like everyone's looking around for someone to blame, and it's you.
Do you know what, Kay? I would.
You get in and piss on him when he was on the floor.
I would go, you did this to yourselves. And not even my side, both sides I would say that to. I would say, you know what, you think that I'm the issue here, you're the issue here.
And then just disappear, just sparkling.
Yeah, they would have to think internally.
Like Spock in The Simpsons, my work here is done.
Yeah.
Just fade away. But you didn't do anything.
That would be the greatest thing to happen in Blantyre since the birth of David Livingston, the man who discovered
Africa.
Yeah,
liberated it.
Well, he didn't really. It's a hard one to say he discovered it. It was like there, and he turned and went, "Oh, I should give all these things names," and people were sort of like, "They've already got names." He's like, "No, names like Victoria." What do you call this big waterfall here? Like, we've got it. Oh, it's now Victoria Falls. Yeah.
So was he a proper bad man then?
Seems like a wank, eh? Seems like a real bad man.
And he was Scottish. He was born in Banterville.
Born in Blantyre, just down from the Asda. Some say that it's the ghost of David Livingston that causes issues with the Asda Blantyre. It's just me that say that, and I've just said it for the first time.
So
I'll be on the group later.
That's how it starts, though. Yeah. So you'd have there's a town called Livingston after the man who went to Africa and just like claimed everything as his own and essentially colonized already prevalent society.
Yeah.
Do you think that's one where you scratch your head going like you're not gonna? Is there parts of Belgium called like Leopolds? Like, is there a Leopold in Belgium, or do you think people are more socially conscious to go, when people like do atrocities, we probably shouldn't name cities after them?
Do you know, it's a good point. I've never been to Belgium, so I wouldn't even have the
Leopold. I've never heard it because I go off football teams. So if there is a Leopold. I didn't think they play in Europe.
Yeah, no.
I don't think Leopold play in Europe. But then again, Livingston don't play in Europe, so Belgium will be like, I wonder if there's a Livingston in Scotland. They might not know.
Aye, but I mean, to be fair,
cracking shopping centre though, so he has got a good legacy. You can go to. I think that is the biggest shopping centre to town ratio.
I've never been to the Livingston Designer Outlet.
It's like the Metro Centre.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I only went to that when I was...
Which is the Gateshead one in Newcastle one.
No, wait, I did go to the Metro Centre recently, actually, I think.
Has it? I haven't been in many years. Has it still got a fairground of some sort? I know the roller coaster isn't there, but is there some kind of like attraction to it? Because that was the thing, is like you take the kids I was the kid.
Yeah.
You take the kids and there's all kinds of fucking like Wizard's Castle and loads of shit going on for playtime after the shopping.
I remember being there when I was really young, but now I'm thinking, was it the same one? Was the Metro Centre in the city centre?
No.
Oh, right. Well, I went to a different thing.
It was over the river.
Right. I went to a different thing. I went to a place that
You
just
went
had a
Eldon
big
Square.
cinema.
I think, are you on the gate?
Is that it? It just had a big cinema and loads of stuff.
Casino with spoons, and then there's like some gaming stuff in there now, like arcade game kind of bits and bobs.
Yeah, you know, I saw that.
Just outside, there's like one of them fucking funky golf places where everything's spray painted and neon.
Yeah, like oh, it's like golf, but fucking cool. Like, it's not.
I went in with my mate after one of the Newcastle games into that golf place, and we were taking lines at the holes. We were going down as if we were like measuring like the eye line of where the hole is, and just racking up and taking a bump off.
That's great. Did it make you better at golf?
No. And I wasn't good to start with. But I don't know if you know how much about golf, but I think it involves a little bit of patience. And I don't know if you know how much about coke.
Yeah.
But it really stifles your patience.
I saw that film Civil War in there recently, and I fell asleep for the first like 30 minutes. So I missed all the like kind of the setup basically.
Oh yeah.
And I just woke up and I was like, whoa, what's Kirsten Dunst doing? And then people were just shooting each other. I'm like, this is fucking crazy. And apparently people said that it really starts slow, but I really enjoyed it because I guess I missed all the slow bit.
Yeah, fuck.
I just woke up and it was like, fucking. I'm like, oh my god, America's gone crazy.
And then there's that guy who was I recognised him from Game Night. Remember Game Night, the one with fucking come on, why can't I use my words? He's in Arrested Development. He's in everything. Oh, Charlie Bateman.
Oh,
Bateman.
I don't know who that is.
Man, I hate it when I make people scream at the podcast. You know when you're just fucking You know when you're just stuck on a name that's just like you should just know.
Yeah.
And then everybody's at home going, fucking Kai, come on. Like I've done this where I've like listened to Daniel on with guests and like he's done it and I fucking it's one of the worst things to put your podcast listeners through.
Yeah.
Is when you do that. Anyway, the guy from Games Night who's like a cop that lives next door who's in on the fucking prank appears in it, but I couldn't see him as anybody else but him.
Oh.
He's like the kind of Matt Damon looking guy, but like.
Oh wait, is that Jesse Plemons?
Is that who it is?
I think that's
Jesse. I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
He's like he was in like Breaking Bad, like later on in
okay,
it. And,
yeah,
and he's like he's got that kind of.
Yeah, have I really just devalued him as that dude from Games Night when he's in loads of shit? But he's such a typecast guy, isn't he?
Was he the guy who was like, what sort of American are you?
Yeah,
that guy, yeah. He's class, man. He's really good. I like his face because I never know if he's like a goodie or a baddie.
Yeah.
Because his face is so like, it doesn't give anything away. I'm like, oh, he could be like a really stupid, simple goodie, or he could be a really evil, like conniving baddie.
Yeah.
I love it. Do you know he's married to Kirsten Dunst?
Is he actually?
Him and Kirsten Dunst are fucking each other's brains out.
Look at them two.
Yeah.
How did they meet? What they got in common?
She was in The Mask and he likes it.
Oh, right.
Was she in The Mask?
I don't know, mate. She was Mary Jane, wasn't she? She was Spider-Man.
Yeah. Who was in The Mask?
Jim Carrey. I think Jim Carrey. Always getting Jim Carrey and Kirsten Dunst mixed up.
All the time, mate. I love that film.
I like pressed snooze on it while it was like in its pomp because there was like kids in my school, because I was still in school when that came out. There was kids in my school that were just like quoting it all the time and they were the most annoying cunts.
Yeah.
You know, there's somebody try and stop me. Was that The Mask or was that Ace Ventura?
The addition of the try in that.
Somebody try their best to stop me. Is that how it goes?
That makes it sound like a suicide attempt. Somebody stop me. It's like they'd be like, somebody try and please help me down from this ledge.
Somebody please.
I keep putting on this ancient mask and thinking about killing myself.
Somebody try to help me. Yeah, there was just like kids in school that were just constantly on the court, and I hadn't seen it yet. I'd only seen their shit, and I just decided it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I was just like, if that's what it does to you, if it just makes of these fucking like rubber-faced fucking muggles in school that are just constantly just writing over any conversation with a catchphrase.
Yeah.
Like I pressed snooze on it, and then I kind of got into Jim Carrey a bit later.
Yeah.
Like I probably like around Dumb and Dumber.
Right, yeah.
Me, myself, and Irene. Like,
Yeah.
I come in on that wave of Jim Carrey. I missed the first wave of like Mask and Ace Ventura, and kind of watched them dated retrospectively.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Cancun before?
Nah, never been to Mexico.
Oh, really good. There's a place in Cancun called Club Coco Bongo, and it's like themed around the club from The Mask. And there's basically like five, when you're like getting there and going in, there's like five guys going around outside, sort of dressed like The Mask. And we went there, and I had the like worst like diarrhea bug I've ever had in my life. It was insane. It's supposed to be like, it's like a big show.
You had Ebola.
Yeah, I had what they call Montezuma's Revenge. I was like a Catherine wheel, man. It was like just screaming out both ends.
What, in the nightclub?
Well, in the nightclub, it had just kicked in that night on the way there. I was like, oh, I don't feel so good. I feel almost like there's an insane pressure in my stomach, and I know what's happening. And I kept like just sitting down, being like, it hurts to sit because of the pressure in my stomach.
But you can't release the pressure, otherwise it's going to be a smell.
Yeah. And everyone else
And a
is
wet
having like
patch.
the time of their lives. There's like a little person guy who's like dressed as like The Mask and Beetlejuice, and he's like doing all this like horny jokes and stuff, you know, like they'd be like women, he's like bong 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 with their arses. It was
What, like going around just like clowning?
he
Just going around the tables and whatever?
he was
like,
doing
all the
like
clown?
horny clowning, yeah.
And was he mic'd up, or is he just like a close magician that just like imposes on your conversation and tells you got cracking tits?
Basically, yeah, like regular magicians. Why are they all terrifying? All magicians freak me out.
Oh yeah, I feel like it's because there always feels like there was an agenda to why they learned it.
Yeah,
There always feels like there's a little bit of Neil Strauss to it.
yeah.
There's a little bit of like, I'm gonna come in and get your attention, and like it feels like a fucking ill-judged method of seduction.
Yeah, you ever seen that Eddie Pepitone bit about magicians?
Nah.
He's
How's it
just
go?
like, oh, every magician's like, and all these magicians are like, the quarter got bigger, the quarter got smaller, the quarter got bigger, the quarter got smaller. Hey, magician, who gives a fuck? You want to do a real trick? How about you make me feel safe at night? It's a great bit, man.
He's so good, that guy. I saw him. Oh man, it was. Remember in Australia there was a show called Headliners in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And it was essentially like the best of the fest. It was like the best of the Ed Fringe kind of show, but for Americans.
Yeah.
And the lineup was Michael Shea, Eddie Pepitone, and Pete Holmes. 2014, what a fucking lineup that was.
Lineup, yeah.
And there was just Eddie Pepitone went on, and I think somebody heckled him with something, and it felt like a set piece that he's got, but like he used the thing that happened in the crowd to get into it.
Yeah.
And he went, man, you can't heckle me. Like, there's fucking so much shit I would say to myself that's worse than anything you've got to say to me. And he went and got in the crowd, and he was like, hey, Eddie! And he just started digging into his own insecurities, like fucking deep diving, like stuff that only a shrink should know. And he just started fucking going at himself. But he was, but he kept
so
going, hey,
funny.
Eddie, what about and just fucking dug his cell out so hard. It was just the perfect response to like anybody trying to heckle you. You're like, oh well, no, we need to let the grass grow again before we can heckle that guy. Glastonbury has a year off every 5 years. The grass is done.
Oh, does it?
I think so. Yeah. I believe so. I think the last one was forced, which is why we haven't heard of it in a while.
Yeah.
The last one would have been 2020.
Yeah.
So we're probably due a year off the next one.
Yeah. I've never been. You been to Glastonbury?
Yeah, I've done a couple of times. I've had a really sunny one and a really rainy one, so I feel like I've had both kinds.
Yeah. So next time you want to get it, like, it's just the weather's fine.
Just all right.
Weather's all right, yeah.
I think the kicker is I'd done it in a camper van, and I think that once you like there's no going back.
Yeah, you
from
can't
that.
go back.
Where actually I did Belladrum in a tent.
That's
and
harsh,
it was,
man.
And it was just after my previous ones being in camper vans.
It's not right.
It would be like going. I've always said, like, you know, I used to live in a flat in London, and like for the same money, you get a nice house in Glasgow.
Yeah.
For the same price as sharing a flat in London, right? I loved that. I loved my life in London. I couldn't do it that way around.
Yeah.
I couldn't go from living here to living in London.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if you once you've took a leap in one direction, you're just like, right, I'm fucked for going back. I can't go back now.
And like my wife works in like music and stuff, so like sort of gigs, etc., etc. So it means I get mostly like VIP tickets to stuff, and I can't be out in the trenches with people anymore.
That's a good point. Actually, I've only ever done music festivals and artist camping.
Oh,
I've never had to do the long walk.
My God.
We've always just been behind a stage somewhere.
yeah, it's insane. Even like just, I would like a drink. Oh, you mean I need to go and wait like 30 minutes in a queue to go and get I can't do it anymore. I'm not. I refuse.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
That party life's done. I'm actually doing something that's going to burn in November, where me and Sloss have done these European tours since 2014.
Yeah.
And they started off with like, you know, pretty fucking just whatever flight is going to be the most cost effective, sharing hotel rooms and like fucking just day to day with no days off, because a day off is just more expense for a hotel or whatever, right? And spending. So you just like pack it in. And then like after his Netflix special, we fucking kind of found a balance of like, flying business, 5-star hotels, bit of time off in between, and like we're kind of balanced it a little bit, like going and doing like pockets of Europe, and we grew over the course of a decade into that, right? And now I'm doing my first European tour, where I can't do I would be fucking broke if I'd done the European tour on the same budget as Daniel does the European tour.
Yeah.
So I have to go back to the 2014 one and just do it with like no gaps in between, cheapest flight possible, sometimes sharing a room, sometimes single beds, just because like, it's different for a UK tour. Like Conor Burns has got to come with us, so like it's going to be a fucking class show. It's going to be unbelievable. And but it's like, say hotels and flights come to like 700 quid for a gig.
Yeah.
Your first 70 ticket sales off and out.
Yeah.
So then like you're profiting after that. Whereas in the UK you can probably like swallow a smaller ticket sale gig, right?
Yeah.
So it's just gone back to that. It's gone back to just going, right, we need to make sure that fucking there's actually, I'm not going to be away from home for a month and come back with out. I've had a good time and I've built, and it's not for nothing as such, but you just need to make them little savings here and there where you can. And that's not what me and Daniel have been doing for the last fucking 3 years.
I think
So that's going to be hard going back.
what I'm thinking about is just like, well, what if I just got a van and just made a thing in the back of it? I'm like, if I was going to tour the UK, well, I could just live in that.
Well, yeah,
and just drive about.
Did Jojo Sutherland do that for a bit?
I think she talked about it, and then I don't think
Did she ever deliver on it? Because I
don't
remember talking saying she was going to do it.
Yeah, I remember saying she was going to live in a van, but I think like
People have done.
I mean, I'm talking about like YouTube. I want a YouTube van. It, you know, like you see these vans and you're like, oh, that looks amazing. That looks like a room in a van. But I think some people are just like going, I'm going to live in a van, and it's just a fucking van.
They just chuck a fucking mattress in a Sprinter van.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my mate, he just done it all himself, like DIY job, put a kitchen in a Sprinter van. He hooked a shower up to the back door so you can like up to the Highlands and that.
Yeah.
And he'll just swing the door of his van open and it'll shower hot water onto him just in the wild. Like he's just, so I've been at his, like at a music festival where like I've had a shower, there's a queue for the showers and all that, and I've just went in his fucking van back door with my swim shorts on, and just washed there. So he's got a house. He doesn't live in it, but you could, like what he's done with that van. You could go and spend a 4-week tour around the country and that, and just find your spot.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
It would be. I think it would be cool in theory.
It depends, and like once you get, the only thing that freaks me out is when you get to like the cities and they're like, oh, there's the ULEZ zone. and I'd be like, oh man, I'm in this
yeah.
old fucking van.
Yeah,
this
he
piece
got
of shit.
this VW camper with
Yeah.
flowers drawn on it. I
all
don't
of a sudden
think
it's-
that's getting through the ULEZ.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's redundant. It doesn't. It's just one of these things, innit?
Dishwasher started heckling there.
That was cool though. I like that.
I don't, like that. That's been started quietly. Like I believed it to be finished for a little while.
Yeah.
And then it just perked back up. There's a ghost in the machine.
Maybe it found one bit of dirt.
do you reckon?
It was like, oh wait, there's a bit of spaghetti on that bowl there.
Sorry, mate. Like, I'm opening it. It's like, no, not yet. I'm not finished. I'm getting the spaghetti off the bowl.
My wife does not know how to load a dishwasher. It's crazy.
Oh, you're a bit like because I've lived with two different, like I've lived with Daniel and I've lived with Natalie. And
Yeah.
you've got Daniel who like is so anal with the dishwasher,
Really?
and like what goes where and how much you've got to get in. And Natalie, who's just never played Tetris in her life, and I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle.
Well, the issue my wife has is that she will like load the dishwasher and like a crazy, and I'm like, do you realise the water comes through the bottom up? Mm-hmm. Like, there's no point in putting stuff in there if it's not even coming out clean. And she'll put it, she's like, oh, I'll put it on for like the shortest thing, and I'm like,
Has the cups face up and they just end up full of water.
yeah, and I'm like, but the 40-minute thing is just for like glasses. That's just to like kind of rinse and refresh. That's not to clean stuff off the
Grease off the-
bowls.
yeah.
Yeah. And she's just like, whatever. And I'm like, I can't tell you these things any more times, Lizzie. Eventually, do you know what? I think she's purposefully doing them wrong. So I do them.
So you do them.
Yeah.
Like making your mother a bad cup of tea.
That's what I've just
She's never going to
realised.
ask you to make a cup of tea again. She'll be like, I'll just make my own cup of tea.
Yeah.
These are my... Oh, it's not going to mess with this, but these egg cups have got like a hole in the bottom.
Oh.
So you can't put it in that way, obviously, otherwise the egg cup will be full.
Yeah.
If you put it in that way, it fills up from the inside.
Oh.
So when I fucking butchered that, that one always catches me off guard. Like I've wet my leg enough times now to know to be cautious taking that out, empty it, doing the sink, put it on the drainer.
Yeah.
Because there's enough times now where I've just been mindlessly picking stuff up and I've just flooded myself with water. Just soaked myself.
Do you know, I'm really enjoying the thought of your listeners just listening to two guys talking about loading their dishwashers up, and I think this is what the medium of podcasting was made for.
It totally
Stuff
is.
like this.
This is like just day-to-day life stuff, that like thoughts that get through people's heads that they're not verbalizing because they're too boring. and then they had two good professional comedians talking about it. And yes, it's still boring. Yes, it's still boring, but you have taken a thought out of my head and put it into the world.
Hey, listen.
Thanks for doing that.
If you're a listener out there or a watcher, if you're just listening to this, I'm looking directly into the camera lens right now. If you have thoughts about loading your dishwasher, please get in touch with Kai Humphries and
answers
Daniel
on a
Sloss.
postcard, right? And just send that postcard to the White House.
Yeah.
just tell them.
In fact, because Daniel's not even here, I would send your questions about it to him directly. So he'll feel like why he would be like, why are you sending me this?
Here's the thoughts that I want from you, right? The knives and forks and spoons, right? Do you put them in dirty in the correct things, or do you separate them when they come out?
Oh.
Because this is the one thing, even though my wife will put like fucking just Tupperware there, bowl there, whatever, right? And I'm not adverse to that. Like fucking just whatever. When it seems full, set it away. There's only two away.
Yeah.
We're not gonna like wait for like every single dish in the house to be in there packed neatly.
Yeah.
Like, we'll give a fuck, right? But the one thing that she does care about is all the forks in one and all the knives in one. So when you empty in the dishwasher, you can grab them and put them in. But I'm like, I'd rather deal with them when they're clean than deal with them when they're dirty. So yeah, I'm sorting them into their piles now, dirty.
Yeah.
In advance.
Yeah.
So there's a boring little topic of conversation for you. Are you a dirty sorter or a clean sorter?
Yeah.
Answers to Daniel.
Yeah. Tell Daniel what you're up to. Tell Daniel how you're putting these forks and knives and spoons in. I hate touching like a wet, dirty fork or spoon. something about it. I'm just like, oh, don't do it. Get away.
Are you funny when it comes to the stuff doing the sink?
Do you know what?
Bits of onion and all that do the sink.
No, I don't know why. Because I mean, I used to be a plumber, so I'm like, oh yeah, everyone's cum shit piss.
I think I've seen you plumbing on Twitch. Did you do a little bit of plumbing on Twitch?
I've done some stuff. Yeah,
I thought I wasn't losing my mind.
Stuff.
Because you were under the sink with something, a head cam on or some shit, like getting some shit done.
Do you know, during the fringe there, I changed Jay Lafferty's bath taps.
Did you?
Just between gigs one day. Jay was like, please. And I'm like, all right, fuck it. So I changed their bath taps and siliconed their bath.
So you still keep your hand in with it?
Still do. It's like, I do like one job a year, and it's just to keep the wheels greased.
I doubt much changes in the world of plumbing. Like, you know, not like, you know, if you're a mechanic and then you dip back in 10 years later and you're like, what the fuck's all this? It's all diagnostics and computers.
Oh my God, there's a little robot man in my car.
I need a machine to talk to it. Last night, we fucking, I went in the shower. I always do the fucking cold shower blast. Like, I turn it on, and the cold shower I have while it's warming up, so it's not quite a minute and a half. It's like probably about 40 seconds. Where you're just fucking freezing your bollocks off. Yesterday it just didn't get hot, right? And I'm alright with a cold shower. It didn't get hot, and I come doing it was like fucking error code on my boiler. And Natalie was in bed, right? And I went up to get into bed and let her know that the boiler's fucked. That's problem to solve in the morning. And she got into bed, got into the manual, found the error code, started fucking twiddling on with dials, like fucking turned one thing and then looked and read what it was and twisted another one, and she fucking. I would have paid hundreds of pounds if she wasn't there.
Yeah.
I would have get the guy in. I would have thought of checking the manual, getting the corresponding error. I've never been more turned on in my life, Rosco, than watching my bird fix a boiler.
Same with the boiler. The boiler's never been more turned on in its life.
That's hot and steamy and all. She got the whole house going.
I think that's cool. That's one thing people don't know about that. Like, when I came up against like error codes on boilers, I was like, okay, just Google it, and the manuals will all be on the internet, and they'll just go, oh, just do this. And I'm like, this game is so simple. This is such an easy fucking game.
That said, I couldn't work out yesterday, right? So I've got these books for sale on Etsy, and I forget they're there because I never punt them. I did a big punt a couple of Christmases back, right? I think it was even like the lockdown Christmas or something, just to try and fucking make a bit of money when there wasn't much work going, right? And I sold a bunch of these books and fucking went to the thing, and then I got an Etsy through, and I was like, oh fuck, I forgot they were even for sale. I had to go into me fucking like ottoman bed to get the book out because they're all in storage, right? And I went to print out the label, and I've got a new router, and I had to go and changing the Wi-Fi on every fucking TV, every device, every fucking switch,
that's
fucking
a pain,
Kindle.
That's a pain in the ass.
But I just put a shift in. I just put a shift in and went and fucking typed in the fucking really pointlessly fucking obtuse Wi-Fi code into everything, to the point I memorized it, capitals and all, right? Wow. And then I couldn't print me label. There's a fucking, if you want to dox us, there's a just over the road that narrows it down to about 3 houses in Clarkston. You can find us. But I'm also on a junction, so it's like, oh fuck, I've just narrowed it down.
Really? Yeah, that's really dogs now.
Like, you can absolutely find out where I live. Come round, I'll make you a cuppa. I'll make you a brew. Come fix me boiler. So I couldn't print out the label because the printer had disconnected from the Wi-Fi.
That's a nightmare.
Right? And I couldn't reconnect it to the Wi-Fi because it didn't have a screen. The printer doesn't have a screen. It's got buttons, right? And I Google it, and there's this fucking like different types of printer on the range, and I find the one, and it's like, hold that button and that button until the blue light flashes. And then the next move was that it was going to print us out instructions of what to do. It was going to use me paper and me ink and print us out.
The printer was going to print you its own instructions.
And you know what I did? I just went to the post office and done everything manually, and hand wrote the customs form and hand wrote the envelope, and just fucking, it was just like, wait a minute, it's easier for me to get in the car and go to the post office the next day than connect this printer to the Wi-Fi. Like, that printer for me, that's in the bin. Unless Natalie fucking deals with the Wi-Fi on that printer, I don't have a printer anymore because that's just a step too far for us.
I feel like that's the one thing that humanity has never really got to grips with. Printers, because like everyone that I've everyone that's ever been around me in my life has always been like fucked after a while, like just very temperamental. Like the one, my mum and dad. Remember when printers just started to exist and then people could have their own printers? It's like, oh my God, you can like print stuff in your own house. It's crazy. But they were fucked. And then people were like, oh, the ink cartridges cost more than the printer. So then they became, but then like, I had a printer like a few years back and it worked okay for like a while, maybe like the first few uses. And then I put it under a bed and then brought it back out and it just didn't work anymore. And I'm like, but nothing happened to you. You can't just not work.
It as well, if you're getting something like that and it requires maintenance, you're not maintaining it. It's not a fucking hot tub.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, when you get like a razor or something and it's like, and then here's the little oil that you've got to oil it every now and again. You're like, who the fuck's who's oiling the razors?
It's a 40 quid printer. I'm not maintaining this. No. Nearly got caught though when I phoned up about it, and it turned out to be like a scam on the internet, and they were like, okay, so just sign into this like AnyDesk thing and just enter it. I nearly gave hackers control of my computer. I was so close,
man.
And then eventually I was on the phone, I was like, oh, it clicked just before I was like, here is control to everything, and then I was like, oh wait, and I just had to go off the phone and then
so you blue balled the scammer.
Yeah,
you took the scammer right down to the point where he had your shit.
They were about to get. They phoned back, and I was like, that was close.
You nearly got it.
That was close. Nice one. Though.
Yeah, sure. Let's just shake hands and walk away.
yeah. Like,
you nearly had me.
I just remembered.
I'm not a 90-year-old woman, and you nearly had us. You're getting good at this.
Yeah, I just remembered I'm 32 at the time, and I'm not an idiot. Wow,
and you're tech savvy.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, how did this nearly happen to me?
You know which ones are the worst ones to fall for? The ones that hook you in with ego. The ones that are like, check who has been viewing your profile on Facebook and then you see people getting their fucking Facebook's hacked because of that. Or like the DM will like, let me help you get a blue tick.
Yeah.
You're like, all right. You get just like so ego driven to the point of like, I want the verification, or I want to know who's been looking at me stuff.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden your account's in the hands of somebody else and you're like, man.
I love it because it's like, oh, I wonder if that fucking cunt's been looking at me. That's all that it could never be like, you could never imagine that under like I would love to see what nice people have been looking at me. It would always surely be like, this fucking person that I hate, I bet they've been looking at me. I'd love to know they'd been looking at me so I can sit and think, yeah, you're looking at me.
You're paying attention to me, even though...
Well, I'm looking at you as well.
And I'm looking at you looking at me now.
Yeah.
Now that I've filled in this form. The other one as well is it's already somebody that's already been hacked in their account using to spread the hack, and they'll be like, is this photo you? And it won't be a photo, it'll be a link.
Yeah.
And I bet you there's so many people going, oh, I can't believe it, is this you? You're like, oh, what could the photo be? It's a scam, but what if it's not a scam? What if it is a picture of me? What could I possibly be doing? Me. Oh, no, you've got my account.
I always just reply to them now with like, oh, fuck's sake, Uncle Ian. Something like that. Just something like, oh, Uncle Ian, you've absolutely fucked this. And then go, well, I can't wait until like next month where my Uncle Ian's got his 5th Facebook account. He just writes them off. Got me again.
What's the end game on the like bikini lasses? You know, they're just the hi, they just wave, like they're coming into your inbox with just like a hello as if they're a hot lass. Like, are they gonna like try and catfish you and get money?
I just like to think that those women are real, and they're just real horny single women who really want to fuck me, but I am A, married, and B, just too tired to deal with it. Really?
Yeah, you're just knocking them back day after day.
Yeah, it boosts me up.
They're not trying to scam you. They're not trying to hack your account. They just want a bit of Rosco.
It boosts me up to go, these girls from all over the world keep trying to fuck me.
Cannot log on with each other. Remember when we did that internet sitcom, the self-produced internet sitcom Muff? with Tom
Yes,
Tom
yeah,
Stade,
yeah. Fuck, that
where
was
they
a
ran a
long time
production
ago.
company. The character that was written in for Wayne Mazazda he was a Nigerian prince that was giving away money, and Tom was the only one that replied to him, and he was the funding of the whole operation. Was the Nigerian prince? Nobody would reply to him except Tom, who did, and then he ended up with millions of pounds from replying. So he played an actual Nigerian prince. Coming away from the production company.
Fuck, I forgot about that. That was a while ago, wasn't it?
I watched it back during lockdown, which was still 5 years ago. So that would have been like 6 years old at the time. But I actually I enjoyed watching it back. It was like a bit of a yearbook. It was just like there's just so many just like passing through comedians that just jumped in and done bits in it, and some of it was funny, and some of it was trash, some of it was really problematic. But like I just look back at it with fondness. Like we're just a bunch of young kids just trying something.
Oh, they got cancelled. They got that guy. He got the Butland's rapist.
The Me Too movement got that guy. Anyway, is there an episode on here I can watch? I don't think there is. No. I'm gonna have to crop this a lot.
Very funny, man. Oh well.
So you've never been scammed, but you've been close to being scammed.
Yeah, very, very close. Have I ever been like genuinely scammed?
I've been like not. I wouldn't call it scammed, but I've been like sold a towel for like 20 quid in Sri Lanka, where you're like, oh, that would have been 4 pence if I knew the lay of the land.
Oh right.
And that guy just clocked the brand new first day here tourist. That's like so I've had my pants doing with stuff like that. I've my first ever lucky man. I thought I was buying Oakleys.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I thought I was like, fucking 40 quid for Oakleys. I'll have a pair of them.
Not bad.
Not bad, that. Yeah. And then the fucking lens falls out like a day later, and you're like,
no.
But, I was 18.
These say Roy Ben's on them.
Roy Berry.
Who's Roy Ben?
Who's Roy Berry?
Fuck. I saw a great scam once. Like, just it made me laugh so much in London, outside a tube station. It happened to one of my friends, and I couldn't stop laughing. A guy came up and was like, "Oh, mate, could you give me like £2 coins for a £2 coin?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "This machine only takes, it doesn't take like the big £2 coin."
The machine.
And then he gave him like £2 coins, and the guy went, "Oh, cheers," and flicked a coin up in the air and ran away. And it was a 50 pence instead of a £2 coin. And I just thought, that is such a fun scam. Like, he was...
You're weighing it up, right? You know, you've been scammed £1.50, right?
Yeah.
You catch your 50 pence. You're opening up this 50 pence in your hand. You can see the back of the man's head bobbing into the distance. You're not running after him.
Yeah.
There's not a way. Unless you're out of pure principle.
I was sort of...
Unless you're just going to go out of sheer principle. Yeah. I'm going to go and rob this guy.
I was laughing because I'm like, he's already running. He doesn't need to flick the 50 pence. He could have just ran away easily. And you'd be like, well, it's £2. I'm not going to chase a guy after £2. But at least you get at least you get 50 pence back.
Aye.
And just the idea of running, it's such a high stakes to run from someone.
Aye, low
for like, real
low ante.
Yeah, for £1.50, which if you thought about it, you could probably find that lying about if you looked hard enough at the ground.
I punched a kid in school for 50p. I was fiddling with my dinner money in the schoolyard, and I dropped 50p, and he put his foot on it, and I went down to get it, and he wouldn't move his foot, and I got up and punched him.
Oh, there you go.
Because I think that's just more like principle in it.
Yeah.
You just made us look like a tit.
Yeah.
I went to pick my money up, and you stopped us picking my money up. Like that could have been a pog. Like it's not. It wasn't about the 50p at that point.
Yeah.
It's about schoolyard status.
Yeah.
Could
have been a leaf.
could have been
standing a leaf. I'm trying to pick up and fucking getting it, mate.
Trying to get that leaf. That's my leaf. It's fucking not even autumn, and there's a leaf there. I'm fucking getting in early. The stock's high at the minute. You know what I'm finding quite funny about the internet at the minute, right? I've just tour coming up, right? I've got a back catalogue of old material that I never use anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna just fucking clip this up and just put it online, play the game. I'm like, fuck it, I'm 41, but I can see that there's younger people in this game that are doing good because they're that the game's
Doing the
changed.
things,
The game's changed,
Yeah.
and you can be the set in the ways older guy and get left behind, like a lot of comics did from the generation above me.
Yeah.
Or you could be the guy that's like Tom Stade and moves with the environment and fucking and keeps up. Right,
Yeah.
you can like fucking pick a lane. So I'm putting these clips up, and some of them they are right, and some of them fucking didn't make a splash.
Yeah.
But every one that pops, there's haters in the comments. Like, it doesn't matter like if the bit's like a kind story about my granddad. It doesn't matter if it's like, it doesn't matter what the bit is. It gets to a point, and I think the point's about 200,000 views when people want to hate, and it's always like an older guy, like maybe he's a bit older than me, like bald, and like it's always a middle-aged fucking angry dude, and it's always like comedian in quotation marks and when's the punchline coming and all that, right? But so every day I log on like as if I'm like typing in my password every time I get on my phone. Every day I open my social media and have a little catch up. And every day I've just got a bunch of dudes trying to cyberbully us. Like I'm some fucking 13-year-old on Snapchat.
My God.
Like I'm like, you're a fucking grown ass man. Like what are you doing? Attacking another human on fucking social media, you fucking dumb prick. Like as if it's gonna fucking land.
Do you argue with them?
Nah.
Oh my God, Kai, you need to get into arguing with them. I love it.
There's been once or twice. There was one where just because it was I thought it was a singer. It was on TikTok, right? We're talking about Fat Man Scoop dying in his last words.
Yeah.
Right. It was on a previous podcast.
That was really funny.
So, right,
Too early for me. That was really funny.
Make some noise.
Yeah, if you hit party, make some noise. That is great.
So we just done a bit about that. Put a clip about it because it was current, and then somebody was like, "I've seen you die on stage more times than Fat Man Scoop," and I was just like, "Man, thanks for the continued support." Like, despite seeing his bomb keep coming back and buying tickets, like I just. So there's a couple of them where I've just like I've had a retort and I've come back.
Yeah.
I've come back with something and that like, but they're like that. That's so frequent now. Like I go on every day. I'm looking at fucking. There's a lot of nice comments as well.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of people that have enjoyed your stuff, tagged their mates in, laugh emojis.
Who cares
You're scrolling
about them?
past there when you get to some fucking hate and you stop. So that's why I think I don't respond to them, because I'd rather respond to the people that are being kind. They're much more worth my attention. But
Fuck them.
there's no humour in that.
Too easy.
And we're comedians.
I'm not interested in them. Well, I mean, it's great. If you want to like the stuff, that's great. Maybe I'll give you a like. I'll say thanks. But that's what again, when I put that bit up about like trans people and the slugs and stuff like that, and I just had like loads of people coming in and being like anti-trans, and I was just like, this is what I've been fucking training for my whole life. I'm like, you think you're here to troll me? What you don't know is that I've been on the internet since the fucking AOL 56k modem, logging on. They go, I've been on there. I've been on the internet fucking trolling since, see that?
Since your man would pick up the phone and it would log you off.
Exactly. I've been putting the fucking hours. You think you're going to troll me? I'm going to troll fucking. I can troll you running circles, you little fucking rat. See that Batman film where Bane is like, oh, you think the darkness is your ally? Oh, I was born in the darkness. I didn't see the light until I was just a man. That's like me with the internet, man. I'm like, oh, you think
Stepped into your world.
Oh, you think Instagram DMs are your ally?
You're like Rorschach in jail.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm not in here with you.
Guys are in here with me. It's so much fun, man. Just tying people around and fucking just tying them into knots and twisting them up. I love it.
Do you do it on your stream? Do you stream trolling?
Yeah. If someone
Because
comes in,
I always thought it would be good. Like, it would be good to screen record and face record and like do the trolling and then bash it together as a video, so that you're not you are responding to the trolls, but you're responding to the trolls for the entertainment of others with your next reel.
Yeah.
I've always toyed with that. But have you done stuff like that live?
if someone comes into my Twitch chat and they start trolling, I'm like, everybody, stand back, watch this. And I'm like, again, this is what I've been preparing for. Being one of the trolls, being one of the original trolls, being a stand-up whose job is to take hecklers down. I'm like, let's fucking go.
Yes.
Sometimes you'll get like a group of like wee guys who come in together, and what I like to do is I like to turn them on each other in a way, psychologically, and I go, well, one of you is actually quite funny, and I can see them like leaving the town that you all live in, but this one, I can tell with the way that you're typing and spelling, you won't be going to university, and these two will leave you behind. I love putting stuff like that. And I'm like, you coming to fuck with me? I'm gonna leave you some stuff that'll sit in the back of your mind for years.
Yeah, like fucking Eddie Peppertone.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking plant a seed there.
I did one where, you know how some people leave a space before a comma or a space before a full stop.
Yeah.
I did a just because of one guy that had like commented on a reel rate. I started the myth that that's how paedophiles find each other on the internet. It's like, so they're commenting and they're leaving stuff in comments, but like if there's a space before the comment, it's like a swinger having an upside down pineapple in their kitchen.
That is funny.
You know, there's
really
like codes for stuff like a Freemason's handshake. Like, if I shook your hand when I come in and I felt like the pressure point at a certain place, I would be like, oh, he's one of my people. If you're a Freemason, I'm not a Freemason, but that's how they live. The pineapple, and then I just had it as like that is how they're fucking fight, because they find each other. Yeah, there's paedophile rings out there. Somebody slipping something into conversation that's a fucking code word. I just spread the rumour that it was that based on this fucking one guy, and then like got his profile picture and brought it in, and because he was lifting a trophy in his profile photo, I was like, look, there he is getting a fucking nod to the air.
That's so funny.
To the air trophy. So I like the idea of doing that with like trolling people, like not responding to them directly, but like taking that thing and putting it on elsewhere. Yeah. So you're taking the piss with them, but they don't even see it. Yeah. You're just fucking having their life.
Yeah. I like that. You ever done that space before a comma thing as a bit? I think that would work as a bit.
You think that's a bit?
It could be hard, but I guess it depends who you're going after. You go, and these people who do this all have something in common. They do this, and then
if I do the bit as like, I want to spread this rumour because I think it's the only way we can stop people doing it. Yeah, again, right? We're in on the bit, but spread the rumour that that's a pedo thing. Yeah, that's how nonsense find each other. Like so the bit is, obviously they're not. Yeah, but let's just make it a myth. So that if people do it, they're self-conscious about doing it. Yeah, just so that the rumour spreads around enough.
Some tiny thing that really annoys me. If we could all spread that that's what paedophiles do, that would be great. That's really funny, man.
I remember having that fucking when onesies were like a big thing and people were like making onesies their identity, like fucking that was just like fucking pictures on Facebook. Look at me and me onesie. Like I'm talking fucking 10 years ago. I knew I was like ranting on stage, but like I want the next person that commits an atrocity to be wearing a onesie. I want the onesie to end up like the swastika. I want it to be like a fucking the uniform of like some kind of oppression. Like I don't want the bad thing to happen, but if it does happen, I want it to be about like onesie clad people.
Do you know, I'll tell you one thing about the swastika. It's hard to make your body into the shape of a swastika, because
I'm gonna have a gun. For the sake of the video, wait, can you use props?
Well, no, I was just using my arms. I was saying to my wife the other
I'm on the camera, so you're gonna have to like
yeah.
I mean, I am on camera, I think, but for the audio, talking through it.
So it's just really. I tried to lie like right down on the floor and do it.
You need a little bit of more range in your groin.
Yeah, you need to be able to move your leg at a 45-degree angle.
Look, if you want to swastika up, it's not going to happen overnight, guys. You're going to have to join yoga, which actually, like, if we take it back to its core, the swastika is a symbol of peace from India.
Do you think that's what it's really all about? Do you think that the connection's right there? Is now the swastika's come full circle and humanity's healing? I was so like,
you'll never not be shocked. I love a double negative. You'll never not be shocked when you just see ambient swastikas in India. There is just like an architecture like on the back of vehicles. Yeah, like the swastika, and it's not the wrong way around. I was looking at it, going, is it the opposite way around to a swastika?
You're like no, it's still the same.
It's still the same one, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never been to India,
but like they call dibs on it. They dibs the swastika. Like if a lot of people are running around with it, fucking like committing like holocausts and stuff. Like that's not on them.
Yeah, they can't go around changing everything just because of that. You know, that would be a nightmare.
You would though. You probably would. Like back in like 2002, I used to put up a St. George's Cross during the World Cup.
Yeah.
Or the Euros or whatever, right? Around about that pocket of time where I was like becoming an adult, had my own gaff.
Yeah.
I'd hang a St. George's Cross. Now I see that as a symbol of hatred. Like I feel like it's been hijacked by the far right, and it's not like a support me team kind of thing. It's just a like us versus like it is. It's more of an us versus them off the pitch. It's like I feel like the St. George's Cross just has negative connotations to me now, and I think they put it up as like it's not a symbol of I'm just enjoying my sports team. It's a symbol of like fucking get them out.
Yeah, what you should
stop the boats.
You should get 2 St. George's Cross flags and like cut one of them up, and you can use the red bits to turn it into a big red swastika.
Big red swastika.
Yeah, it's a symbol of peace.
St. George's swastika.
Yeah,
please come in.
I'm sure that wouldn't have any repercussions at all.
More boats written on it. Please, more boats. Oh, just the extra boats, St. George's swastika.
Yeah, do it, and do it around here. See the hands, do it around
in Scotland.
In Scotland, yeah. St. George's swastika with more boats written on it.
So I think that concludes the podcast. That's the pin in it. That's as far as we go. The day Rosco.
That's how you have to end, I guess.
So you got out a plug? Are you going to tour your critically acclaimed Fringe show? Are you going to do the rounds?
Yeah. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do some London stuff. I'm going to do some Scottish dates of it and stuff like that, and then
to find it on your website or your social media. What's the best way to?
Probably Instagram.
Instagram, which is at. Have you got your full name?
I honestly couldn't. Do you know what? Just try and
find it out while I plug the Patreon. If you're enjoying this episode and you're enjoying the guests that we've had on in recent weeks, we've got 2 episodes a week for people who keep the lights on. I'm going to be taking the podcast on tour, obviously. Oh, Peggy. I'm doing the plug. That's attention seeking. You know what she's doing there.
Oh, she's like, are you looking at me because I'm barking, rolling around?
She's barking at her paws, and I thought I was worried about it. I was just like, her paws itchy, like, are they sore? What's going on here? I took a video of it, and when I was in the vet for something else, I was like, what's she like here? She's like, she just wants attention. She's attention seeking. I'm gonna get. You know what? I don't mind her doing that because I'll give her attention.
Yeah.
If she wants attention, she can get it. Come here, you.
What was it you were plugging there? The
Patreon. So thank you to everyone that's subscribing, because obviously like we always put out the free public episode and you get a bonus episode if you subscribe, but there's costs to the podcast, like the extra luggage on the tours and shit like that. So thank you for paying the bills, guys.
And there's a man that if you don't know this, but when you do a podcast, there's a man that comes round and demands money from you. He says it's the podcast tax. If you've never done a podcast, you won't know about this man. He lives under the bed. He lives under the bed. He's a sexual predator, not in a bad way, and he just likes to watch.
Aye, it's actually not predatory. He's like sexual herbivore. He's a sexual forager. But he's still sexual nonetheless.
Wow, I was like, I don't know what I'm saying here. I don't know where this is going to peter out, and then you came back in there, Kai, and just lifted it back. You've lifted me up in your arms, and
we thought we were going to end with St. George's swastika and we ended on sexual herbivore. So there's that. I think that's great. You got a pretty nice public episode. Follow Rosco McClelland, subscribe to the Patreon, and I'll see you again on Thursday.